Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grimreaper with a video for Raid of Shadows. Today we are going to look at a showcase for the one and only UK. It's going to be a showcase on how to build a UK today and the blessings and the masteries, etc. I feel like I need to do a video on him because I've recently just built him for Arena to see how he would do for me. And this is like the style of team that we'll go with. We're not in Platinum Arena at the moment, but I feel that we can show what he can do, right? So let's get into this and let's see what he could do. Then I'll show his gear and masteries and talk a little bit about UK and maybe a couple of things that you're not aware of as well that can definitely help to make your UK a little bit better. This guy is amazing in Arena right now as well, so that's something to also bear in mind. And also team synergy is also something to bear in mind. So what do I mean by team synergy? The champions you're using around him regularly, and how to keep him alive, because he is a little bit squishy in all fairness. So that is something we'll need to take in consideration. Another thing as well, like barons and stuff like that, can give him a little bit of a hard time. This guy is the RNG king for sure, so that's something that I would like you to keep open mind for today's showcase. So we are going to have a look at this. Obviously we're going up against a UK itself. We want to see how good my build is compared to others. It kind of makes out as well, and we'll go over a couple of tips as well and how I could make mine better as well, and stuff like that. So the first thing is sheeped, right? He does get sheeped a lot. That's a bit of a bummer, but he is generally worth the time and effort. There isn't like a lot of champions right now who have a lot of good CC control who are usable regularly, because sheep is so damn dominating in Arena, and it kind of lets the CC champions down, like it provokes and stuff like that, right? So it can be a bit of a bummer sometimes to have that. His revive is not the greatest as well. He's actually really good in Hydra as well, so that's something I've done showcase before. I will ping that video at the end of this video so you guys can check it out if you want. So Rhodes is actually probably like a really bad champion to use against this team right now, just because their negative affinity. He is really good with double revive or even triple like I have right now, so that's also something to bear in mind as well. So if you do that, you don't need to use him as like your main reviver, and you can kind of work around that, right? So that's something you can also bear in mind. So yeah, I really love this guy. I can't wait to get a second lesson on him to get that high chance of sheeping and just a bit of extra defense as well from the sheep. So that's one thing. Okay, so we have a speed team here. We know Trunda is really powerful, can definitely nuke this team into the ground if I'm not careful. Really good against Rhodes as well, so definitely up against it right now. I generally do think he's better against teams where there is more buffs, like Sifi, if he goes up against Sifi and stuff like that, because that passive is kind of quirky, and that is nice to also take in consideration. So I also feel that sometimes Rose and Sifi are a really good combination against him as well. And Warlord is definitely his main kryptonite, because of that A2. If he gets locked out, it can really let him down. But however, there's still things to consider. So this is probably like a really good example of a defense that we'd have to take into consideration. I'm just looking for my Baron, which I will find in a second. Baron is really bad against Rhodes. I don't use a Baron a lot for live arena at all. Don't think I've ever used him. Don't think he's that great unless you have an Echorid, and then it opens up a new can of worms. So as you can see, like I said, I think he's really good against champions with lots of debuffs, right? So we got all these debuffs already that have gone up, and I've already took like 4 sets of debuffs off him, right? So that makes my UK already unCCable. It's also to worth pointing out, there's a protection set in here somewhere, which is nice to see. Increased defense, which will give me more survivability, increased speed to speed me up, and then we've took 1 heal as well from them. So heal is nice. Obviously heal works really well as well against them because it hurts their survivability. We are going to use increased speed just to speed it up. We do want him to get round to that A2 if possible. Ultimate Death Knight is definitely a top G. Definitely could have used him in here as well. And again, I don't need to worry about it. He's really good at taking the stone skin as well from Duchess every time I face him. And then obviously when Baron's had a chance to take him down, he has, so that's something to just keep in mind. I always get itchy nose when I'm recording. So Raidis might pull this back, but I doubt it. Okay, so obviously as well, it's worth pointing out block buffs is a really powerful thing against the meta right now. So the meta is lots of buffs and tanking much survivability as possible. This is another team where he's possibly quite strong against, except from Valkyrie. Valkyrie could nuke him with the passive, but we'll bring our Rose in as well because he's really good Leo, and we'll just try and stay alive for this. I think there's actually gear missing from my Sifi, so that's something we need to check out because she's looking a bit squishy. So there goes the counter attack of all of them, and we've also took a shield, which is good for survivability, and we have increased speed, and we've also increased speed from Sifi, sorry, and the block buffs. So that's also worth pointing out. So we can probably, we're not going to get his Leo, unfortunately, because of Necrid. So Duchess has been dealt with. So I'm going to take out Valkyrie, and then I'm going to do much damage as possible to his Duchess. And then we'll sleep her, though I slept her actually. It is what it is. And then he will cleanse himself, so we'll go after Duchess again. So Duchess is quite slow, so we're going to try overlap as possible. It's worth pointing out as well, the no reason why he's strong in Live Arena right now is because the meta in Live Arena is totally different from Classic, and fast champions, fast nukers are more better than slower nukers and stuff like that at the moment. So that's something to bear in mind. I think if you have a Necrid, you could definitely still run slow nukers. It definitely helps you stay alive way more, to be fair. Duchess is also another important champion right now. So as you can see, we have CC'd Leo pretty nicely there. So now we'll just deal with Necrid and Duchess. Oh, I messed up there because I could have done A2. It's my fault. I really do like Sifi as well with UK, just because she's normally like obviously faster, so it's easier to speed them up and bring them in a game. I think he definitely gets harder to counter as the rounds get on. So that's something as well, like if you don't kill him quite quickly, he'll take advantage of your team and just make your team a lot weaker than it should be. So that's also something as well. He's really good against Leo because he takes away the block unkillable as well, so that's also another thing to keep in mind. Champions like that is definitely really useful, and I think the hardest way to counter him in Live Arena right now is actually sheep as well, so that's something as well we'll keep in mind. Actually just gonna go re-look at my Sifi quickly because I believe I took a quad speed off her for for a arena. That's good to see that I'm still winning even missing gear. Just kind of comes natural after a while. Let's have a look where it is. There we are. Obviously quad speed. That's really nice to see. And then I think we'll do like 2 more. It's a shame that live arena is not open right now because we definitely would take them in here. So we have like a negative vibes here. So we've got like 4 sheep. So this is somewhere that could definitely cause them some issue. We'll go ahead and take my Yannicka. In Harmony is someone I really don't like. So normally I stay away from her. He has a 20% chance of CCing me right now, so that's also something we'll need to do, but you can also take the stone skin off the champions. Pythian can cleanse, so we would like to one-shot him pretty quickly. Obviously she's just done her turn, and even Pythian cleanse, it hasn't gone anywhere. We've took all the stone skin as well, so that's really cool to see, and I should be able to take out Ultimate Definite like so. And his team, which could possibly be really annoying, is just become way more simple. Again, really good synergy with Sifi. It also brings a attack down on that big ability, so that's something to also take in consideration. And yeah, so there goes UK, and then we'll just hit auto here because he's done his job. He's also took the block damage as well from her, so yeah, makes it really easy to farm multiple buff champions and buff teams. So quad sheep there, not really doing me any harm. We have another one here as well, so I think we'll come in with Rodus as well for myself, and then we have 2 sheep to worry about, and there's no blessing here. So this is one of my teams that I've started using in live arena myself. For some reason Duchess is in immunity or untouchable for some reason, not too sure why. Let me know down in the comments why she would be that, if you are aware. Maybe it's a new meta I'm not aware of. I have been working a lot lately, but I'm definitely interested in meta to see. So again, I've just took stone skin off his candy, which is really frustrating for his candy. His Rodus is not doing much right now as well. Pythia is not fully maxed out, which is what I've just noticed, which is a bit meh. And obviously a really hard counter to Duchess as well, because she can't put her veils up, so passive doesn't really matter. And Pythian also starts struggling. I did have a comment on my last video thinking that Pythian isn't that good. Pythian's really good. So I'm gonna do a showcase on him at some point as well, because I definitely think that he's a champion that could definitely give you something different in live arena, especially if you don't have champions like Cardio and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely something we will think about for sure. His revive is actually going to be ready, so bear in mind if you are doing this as well, is you do want him to be quite fast, but also good for survivability as well. So we'll take him out like so, and my Rodus is definitely mounting people right now, so that's good to see. Let's see. Okay, so Leo could be tricky. We've got double revive and block revive, and he also has a Sifi as well, so he could possibly be faster. Duchess is normally slow, and hopefully we'll like to see. Okay, so we got sheeped. We sheeped his Lydia. I think Lydia is a really strong champion as well. Recently done a showcase on her. So Sifi has put up her own buffs, but not really causing me any issues. I don't actually need to use the A3 on Leo now because of the block boss, right? So I can kill Leo pretty much wherever I want. Can't sleep him now, which is still really good to see. and Leo can't be stunned yet, so he needs to do his A2 to be allowed for me to be stunned. He can be sheep though as well, so that's also something we'll bear in mind. So we will come with the A3, and then we'll come in with the A2. Could have aid one actually there. Should definitely aid one to Morales, because it would have got extra turn. It counterattacks anyway, so that's good to see. I think we'll call it as this is. I think we'll make this the last one. Definitely think I made a point. My UK is definitely strong, ready to go, and looking very good. And yeah, so okay, let's go and look at his kit then and see how we build him. This is definitely the most important part of the video, right? So talk about the blessing first. Like, the blessing is way more important than most things, so the only blessing I would really take is the sheep, and that's definitely the recommendation I would take. So there's a 5% chance of sheep and so on, so you want to put him in the lead, especially if he has the most sheep. He also has a speed aura 20 in all battles, so that's also something to take into consideration, which is also quite strong. And he also will bring 10 extra speed when he has a 6-star blessing. So yeah, really cool to see. Definitely his strongest ability. He has a 50% chance, so 50% chance every time you put a buff. So if it's a Sifi, for example, who puts 3 buffs up, he has a 50% chance per buff to take from that champion and place on himself, right? So that's something to take as well. His A2 hits twice, so he has a attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance. So here is a 100% chance once booked on a 4-turn cooldown to place a decreased accuracy or a block debuff. So decreased accuracy doesn't do much unless you're in Hydra. It's a really good ability then for mischief, DK, and stuff like that, right? And even the poison head, I think is Blythe, right? Block debuffs, again, really strong in Hydra, but also really strong in Arena. So he takes his buffs, he also has a chance of taking buffs when passive, and then putting up block debuffs itself to stop them putting up any more buffs. So increased defense, right? Take away increased defense, you take away strengthen. It definitely helps you to give you more chance of killing his team, so that's something to bear in mind. He also has a 75% chance of displacing a decreased attack. So if you take sniper, that becomes 80% chance of putting an AoE decreased attack. So any nuker that's attack base, like Rhodas, who also is HP, Leo, Trunda, and stuff like that, it gives him more of a chance to put a decreased attack on, so you can receive less damage as well. So that's something to take into consideration. A really strong debuff as well for Wrath and Torment for Hydra as well. So before we go into anything else, we're going to go to the masteries, and I'm going to explain the masteries, right? So Wisdom of Battle, I'm a really big fan of Wisdom of Battle. This will just help him cleanse himself and put a block debuff on himself. Pretty simple, I'm a big fan. You could go with something else like Shadow Heal. Some people take this in Arena and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of it myself, but that's something to bear in mind. Fearsome Presence actually gives you a 5% chance of increasing the stun set, which we have on him, and also placing the sheep as well. So this benefits on both of us. This benefits on Blessing, but also our CC set, so that's something to bear in mind. Retribution will give him a chance to counter attack if he loses a certain bit of HP, and this can be quite consistent when he's being attacked against certain champions. So this does go off quite a bit, and that would just give him a chance to stun or sheep or whatever he needs to do, right? So That is something to take into consideration. And then the rest of them are just for survivability really. Law Steel will give you more accuracy and speed. Evil Eye will give them a 5% chance of dropping a turn meter on all the champions, so this could be very useful. Again, champions like I don't know, Duchess, Zifi, just knock their turn meter back a little bit. It's going to be quite nice, right? So that's something to bear in mind. We've got extra accuracy as well. Master Hexer helps you to extend the block debuff and the decrease accuracy. So I definitely recommend to do this. This can go to 2 to a 3 turn and can be the difference between a win and lose, right? So I've had to feel like I've gone through the information quite well there. So how have I built him then? So we have accuracy with a very good speed banner. So it's definitely what I recommend. If you don't have a good speed banner, maybe try a HP banner or defense banner with really good speed, and then just change the chest to accuracy instead of HP or defense, right? So that's something you could definitely do. We went with HP here. You could go defense with HP substats. I went HP with accuracy substats. And then I've got a defense banner with a quad HP and then a defense roll as well. So that's something as well that I took into consideration. There's a couple of sets that can really enhance him as well. So the revenge accessory is actually really cool on him, really strong. So if you can get the right stats in that, that's really something to bear in mind. Reaction is really good on him, but also refresh as well. So refresh procs, and the more refresh as well would be another strong case for him. And another as well is the cleansing ring. Cleansing ring could be good on him if you're going against another position, but I still would take in the consideration of the buffs and if the stats are good. So we went with a stun set over a provoke set, because a stun set has a lower chance to proc, yes, but also he's quite a squishy champion, and there is a lot of champions with good A1s, so I don't feel like a provoke set is that strong on him compared to other things like days as well. It's going to be very weak on him. So for me, stun set is the strongest CC set out of the 3, and it's probably the one I'd recommend. Another set you could possibly go with if you have the accuracy as well is Immortal, which would give you more HP, because HP is really important on him. And a lot of people don't build him correctly. They just go accuracy chest and accuracy banner, and then he's just like super squishy and he'll fall over very quickly, and then he's not really doing his job. Another one as well you could do is go to the Frost Spider and farm Frost Spider for a 2-piece set, because he will get hit quite regularly, and he might be able to have that 10%, I think it's 10% or maybe 15% freeze again with Fearsome Presence to freeze someone, right? So that's something to bear in mind. So here we've gone defense, so HP with speed and accuracy. Again, you could go defense, speed and accuracy, and then here I've gone the opposite from the gloves. So if you go defense here, you go HP here. If you go HP, go defense. I definitely would stay with speed boots, because you want him quite fast. So even if you have really good speed rolls, you would want him to be pushed towards 300. So again, we got HP. I've sent his gear as well. I've got a little bit lucky with sending his gear, because I was looking for speed here, or HP or defense. I was looking for accuracy, HP or defense, and HP or defense substat. So again, I didn't get what I wanted, but it is what it is. And at the top, I wanted HP or defense flat. We did get defense on 2 pieces, so that's something good as well. I would have preferred HP, but it is what it is. As you can see, his speed at the moment is 285 speed. 400 accuracy is plenty enough. You don't need more accuracy than that. After you have your 400 accuracy and your good speed, I would go towards 300 if you can. I would definitely start building that defense and that HP. So 60,000 HP is definitely the minimum HP you want to have. You do want to go towards the 70,000 HP side, and then if you take someone like Sifu who has increased defense, she could definitely boost up his increased defense and also boost him up. I can actually make him 300 speed, it's just my accuracy will drop, and I've just kind of used the 400 accuracy as like a minimum line for accuracy. If you can get more, that's great, but you definitely don't want to be taking Eagle Eye. You do want to take that Fearsome Presence because it just works so well with his kit. I think you really will be letting him down as well. And it's bear in mind, like once you get like a level 2 sheep, you will get also an extra 400 defense, and you won't get any more extra HP until level 4, and level 4s are like nearly impossible to get unless you're buying them or really are waiting for certain champions, and it will definitely take a couple of months. So level 2 isn't that difficult. It's like 40 split souls or whatever you call them things, and definitely can get more defense like that as well. So that's the one thing to bear in mind. He'll go to like towards 4,000 defense fairly quick, and then we have to look at maybe just changing these now because of how it's rolled. So there is still more speed to come. I don't think we have any speed lifts, not really. So that's something that I would take into consideration. There's also more HP to bring up, and definitely more accuracy as well. So again, I could possibly speed up his kit quite fairly quick once I've got the glyphs to do so. So that is another thing that we'll take in mind. Again, we have a weak glyph here, so I can definitely get another 4%, and I can definitely lift up the flat defense as well once we got them as well. I've got a couple, as you can see, so it might be something we'll do later on stream. There we are, guys. It's a very detailed video on how to build a mighty UK. I know I butchered his name, but it's a bit of a laugh as well. So I really hope this helps you improve your your UK, and really think about using him more, utilizing him in arena. If you're not using him in arena, it's just a really good Hydra champion for this rotation in regen. And then again, I will ping that video of him in a type of build that I would recommend at the end of this video, over here somewhere, so you can definitely look at that. And again, let me know in the comments what you think about this video and what do you think about UK. Definitely the RNG king. For me, he's definitely like it's like a mortal macabre. He decides when he's going to work, right? I suppose that's why he looks like a pig. Maybe he could be a little bit lazy, right? Yeah, and remember as well, if you like my content, please remember to like, comment and subscribe on this video to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you're going to get more, so you get the notifications when I'm posting more educational content just like this. So until then, peace.